Did you catch the Luka Doncic return to Dallas last night? An emotional return for Luka Doncic.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it was just sort of, you couldn't keep your eyes off of him, both in the pregame and then during the game. He said in the postgame interview with Lisa Salters, he said, I didn't think I was going to be able to play after all of that in the pregame. And I was worried about that too. I mean, he was a mess. He was crying. He was weeping on national television. And even after he got up and had the introduction and sat back down, he started crying again. And so I wasn't sure what kind of condition he was going to be in for the rest of the game, but he was surgical, man. It wasn't one of those like angry, trash talking Luka Doncic performances that we saw like maybe during the Western Conference Finals last year. This was just, I'm going to take you apart and I'm putting all my emotions to the side for the moment, and I'm going to get my business done and show you what a mistake it was. And, Nico Harrison was there. I give him credit for showing his face. He could have hid. But I do think that, he may have been the only one in the building, if Patrick Dumont was not there last night, who thought this trade was a good idea. Because certainly every fan in the building was chanting Luka's name and then occasionally sprinkling it in with a Fire Nico chant. It was pretty compelling about how deeply this fan base has been cut.
Sprinkling in the Fire Nico thing, I believe I heard that probably half a dozen times, at least. That was, I know that was as tough a night as you can get if you're a Dallas Mavericks fan. Not only, if you're a fan of the team making the play-in, and I'm sure some fans are not. Some fans are probably saying just tank the rest of the season, get a lottery pick. But if you're a fan of this team advancing, you lost. And you lost because Luka Doncic went for 45. You watch this guy play, and yes, we can all acknowledge he's never going to have the physique of a Dwight Howard or the eating habits of Tom Brady. But the guy knows what to do with a basketball. It's just that simple. And even in whatever condition Nico Harrison and Patrick Dumont think that he's in, he's still lighting up every team that he goes up against. We're going to talk about the Thunder, but I was at those two games in Oklahoma City over this week, and beyond him getting tossed in Game 4 of the second game, or the fourth quarter, I should say, of the second game, he was outstanding. He carved the Thunder up on Sunday, and then was in the process of doing that before he got tossed on Tuesday. Then he goes back to Dallas, and an emotional night, the second night of a back-to-back, and he just lights them up for 45 points. We're going to do this a lot, but it just makes you wonder more and more what the Mavericks are thinking. How can this be real? How could you have forked over a generational talent for effectively Anthony Davis in a first-round pick? How could you possibly have done that? And I think somebody in the Dallas media or one of the media members there brought up the curse of the Bambino with Jason Kidd. As a Bostonian, you can't go there yet, right? You got to have 100 years of futility before you. Babe Ruth was long dead and the curse was still being talked about, decades later. So you have to have a lot of failures in the next 50 years. But look, this was their opportunity to build a winner around a generational great for the next 15 years, and they decided not to do it. And now they're left with a team that maybe, cross your fingers, could be good over the next couple of years, most likely not championship level good. And you're going to watch Luka tear it up for the Lakers. It just reinforced the craziness of all this. It was just nuts that they make a deal of that type.
No, I mean, it's crazy. And the economic losses they've had since then, with season tickets being returned and sponsors dropping them. I mean, that surprised me that sponsors dropped them in the middle of the season, but apparently a significant number of them did. So they've taken financial hits all over the board. And then I just felt like also watching Luka, sobbing on national television, which I'm sure is not his preference. It also just seemed mean. This is a kid who gave everything to you. Trae Young tweeted, who will always be tied to Luka, he was never going to leave, which I thought was interesting for Trae to put that into the national conversation. And for them to just basically say, you're not good enough for us, and send him away in a very public and embarrassing way, and not even get a lot back for him, which also sort of speaks to what they think you're worth. It just felt mean. It felt mean all the way around. It felt mean to the fans. It felt mean to Luka. You made the guy cry on national TV. And, that's obviously not the larger takeaway. The larger takeaway is this will be devastating for Dallas for years to come. And Luka will be just fine. He's got a lot of money. He's going to win championships. His life is great. He's in Los Angeles. I'm not saying I feel pity for him, but something can still be mean. And it just felt irresponsible and stupid and now also mean. And it just, the kids crying in the stands, it just felt mean that they
That's
pulled
the
off
thing.
this trade.
He is going to win championships in LA.
Yes.
I don't know if he'll do it with LeBron James, the teammate. The jury's out on that, and the window is pretty small. But the Lakers are going to find a way to build a winner around Luka Doncic. They're the Lakers. They're going to get guys. Like, they got Luka. Like, they're going to be able to sign guys as free agents. Luka is an appealing player to play with. I mean, he helped, revive Kyrie Irving. If you are a, rim running, high leaping big man, you want to play there. You want to play there because you're going to average a double-double, like Derek Lively basically did. He's got Jackson Hayes in limited minutes, putting up the kind of points and production that he hasn't before. I mean, they're going to win a championship at some point. And, Mavericks fans are going to have to eat that for the next decade. It's wild. I don't know. I mean, look, I don't want to get too knee-jerk, but I don't know how Nico, survives this. I don't know how. I think Nico's a nice guy. I think he actually is a smart guy. I think this was a catastrophically bad decision. I don't know how you come back from this with this team anyway. I don't know how.
I don't think you do. And I agree. I like Nico a lot. I think he is a smart guy. He made some, we can't forget, he made some very shrewd moves last season. And we were all saying, oh, this is a smart guy. So
I thought there were bad moves, like at the time, you gave up a first round pick. Yeah, I know, 100%. But you gave up a first round pick for PJ Washington. What? You're giving away a first to get Daniel Gafford. What? I thought he was over spending for these guys. Well, turns out I was wrong. He was right, and they put together a finals team.
But we're not the ones who are wrong here. And, I know Patrick Dumont signed off on this trade, so I don't know what the logistics or mental gymnastics that Patrick Dumont has to do about does he fire Nico this summer, because the trade was obviously just catastrophically bad. But then he approved it. So then maybe he takes more responsibility and lets Nico try to fix this over the next season, summer and up until the trade deadline. I don't know, but I can't imagine Nico Harrison is going to be long for the Dallas Mavericks, which is a shame because I thought that up until this trade, he had done a pretty nice job there. And it's still inexplicable. There's no reason. There's no basketball reason that makes sense for this. And the idea that he may have been getting a little bit difficult to talk to or slightly out of shape in a way that sometimes led to soft tissue injuries. The guy got you to the NBA finals. He's a generational talent, the likes of which we will not see again for a while. And what matters is what he produces on the court. And what he produces on the court is what he did to the Mavericks last night, the game you're referencing with the Lakers. I mean, that's the thing. When we talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder, the one guy they've had consistent problems with over and over again is Luka Doncic. And now you wonder if it's a Lakers OKC matchup in the second round or maybe even the conference finals. I can't say for sure who's going to come out of that because of this Luka trade. I mean, Dallas made the team that they're trade partners with better than they were getting back in the trade, ensuring that they will never beat the team that they did the trade with. I mean, it's just bizarre. There's no reason for that.
No, there isn't. And it's going to be a long, cold 10 years for Mavericks fans watching this guy do what he's going to do out in LA.